When it comes to what the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 can do, you know what? It's just one of those situations where they both do their own kind of thing, and the end of the day, it's going to kind of come down to the software. But it is true that Microsoft does things as a whole with the Xbox brand that Sony doesn't do with the PlayStation brand, and vice versa. We tend to see a lot of times where Sony will do something pretty spectacularly with the PlayStation 5 that just Microsoft wouldn't bother with, whether there is just different philosophies or what, I don't really know. But I do know that, they're both just companies really just after our money. Don't ever let anybody fool you into thinking that they really care. Yes, Microsoft executives might come on your podcast and act like they're your pals, but at the end of the day, don't think they wouldn't turn on you just quick as on a dime and throw you under the bus. They've done it to me. They've done it to lots of other people. It just happens, and the same thing could be said for Sony, man. They will, turn on you on a dime. Look at them trying to close the stores and stuff like that. They aren't above doing things that are anti-consumer. Microsoft, they've got all this problem with DRM back in 2013, still have a problem with DRM, and I just think that it's really, really a bad situation when we have, some of this negative stuff that's going on in gaming and things like that. So for me personally, I love hearing about the things that these companies can do and the things that they maybe can't do or can do better. It's nice when a company admits that they could do better in a situation, and this is a situation where Sony is admitting, hey, we could definitely do better, and we hope to do better. And I think that that's exactly what we're going to see in the future. Now listen, Microsoft did something similar, right? Like, I think we all know where Microsoft did something incredibly similar, where they came out and they announced, or they had those internal documents and stuff like that that kind of proved that they really wish that they had the type of games like Sony makes, like The Last of Us Part 2 and things like that. So it's very interesting, to say the least, that kind of works out the way that it does, and I do hope that it does continue to work out the way that it does in terms of what we get, and these companies kind of sort of answering towards each other and things like that, because it makes things much, much better. One of the things that I feel like Microsoft has a big advantage on is obviously their PlayStation Now versus Game Pass, right? But Sony just did an interview where they're talking about how they're looking to actually strengthen what they're doing with PlayStation Now. According to this anyway. Speaking during a corporate strategy meeting today, Sony announces plans to boost user engagement across the PlayStation Network. The PlayStation console maker confirmed it aims to achieve this by strengthening the PlayStation Now cloud streaming game service. And Sony intends to continue to invest in or partnering with external studios, in addition to investing in its in-house studios to enhance its software offering. PlayStation Now, as you guys might know, launched back in 2014 and is home to hundreds of titles spanning PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4, allowing users to stream content daily and directly to their houses, or download games directly as well. The service is currently available via a number of subscription models. There's a lot of speculation right now as to just how plans to combat Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass service is, with God of War creator David Jaffe suggesting that the company is looking a way to counterpunch the competition. Now, I personally think that they really need to go out there and kind of make this into a situation where they offer some games like, I don't think necessarily you have to go out there and do day one on your big titles, but a good instance of what they're doing that I think really kind of showcases what they're doing is you can do stuff like, they had that Oddworld game that launched day one. You do stuff like Destruction All-Stars that launched. They're just games like that launching are, I think, a big thing for those type of services. They don't have to be your God of Wars or your Last of Us. They don't have to be any of that stuff. And so I think that that's going to be something that we continue to see. I mean, and when you look at it, and we see stuff like, this Virtua Fighter 5 remake launching as an exclusive day and date in PlayStation Plus or whatever, it makes it all that much better. And I love seeing that. I think that it's fantastic that we continue to see stuff like this, and that we continue to see the way that these companies will continue to invigorate these services, because you need a good mix, I think, right? Like, you don't want to go all in. Like, to me, you don't want to go all in on the services like Sony, like Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. You want to kind of leave there that opening for like, okay, buy games is still very important. We want you to buy games. I think that that's like something that Microsoft forgets about from time to time, and it is sort of a shame when you kind of see that happen. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly think that it's just one of those situations where Microsoft and Sony have different kind of philosophies, whereas Microsoft is more of a services company, and and clearly Sony just doesn't give a crap about that, as much. I mean, they obviously want to make services money, and they have almost 50 million subscribers into their PlayStation Plus, but at the same time, they aren't as keen on it. They're selling billions of pieces of software, so that should really kind of go a long way into telling you exactly kind of what's going on and how these companies sort of differ from one another in the long run. And I do think that that's going to continue to happen. The other aspect of change that we continue to see happen and things like that between Sony and Microsoft are obviously where Sony is trying to not only increase engagement there, but using like machine learning and AI and things like that. That's stuff that Microsoft is really known for. So Sony going out there and doing that, I feel like it's a huge boon for them, and really trying to appease their fan base and getting everybody excited, for a really, really cool features that are coming, and they've already kind of used some of this machine learning and AI with stuff like Spider-Man, and we'll continue to see it in the future as well. And that's the really exciting part in the future, So hopefully we continue to see these kind of advancements and things like that in the future as well. Sony AI and PlayStation are combining forces to provide richer gaming experiences for consumers. Sony Corporation actually announced during its corporate strategy meeting earlier today, speaking during his presentation. The chairman, president, and the group CEO of Sony Corp, Kenshiro Yoshida, revealed plans to leverage reinforcement learning to enrich players' experience in gaming. And Sony AI, which we established last year, has begun a collaboration with PlayStation, will make some game experiences even richer and more enjoyable. By leveraging reinforcement learning, we are developing game AI agents that can be a player's in-game opponent or collaborative partner. So Yoshida-san said during the meeting that it plans to expand user engagement on PSN by strengthening the PlayStation Now stuff as well, and revealed that PlayStation products will continue to focus on bringing IP to film and TV. Clearly, this is a very smart move by them, and to be able to go out there and get some of this stuff done, and to have like so many fans and things like that already kind of built in. That PlayStation name is still worth a lot. I mean, they've done a really good job building up their brand, and now we continue to see them expand that in a lot of different ways, and I think that's a very, very smart move for them going forward, and I just don't see them slowing down with that anytime soon, and I think that's going to be a very smart thing as we go forward. And now hopefully they continue to do this, and hopefully they continue to kind of offer these differences and things like that, because I feel like that's going to be the point of contention between them and Microsoft in the future. As long as they continue to make quality, great first-party exclusive games, I think that we're going to be really, really fine. You know what I mean? I think that that's going to be smart, and I think that they know how to kind of play the game. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, yeah, they know how to play the game. That's absolutely pun intended or whatever. But yeah, they have to go out there and make great games. That's the first and foremost part of this. This is the thing that I get on Microsoft for over the years. They want to be like this, jack of all trades, kind of master of none or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe focus on on your games first, and then you can like expand that and go to sort of the other aspects and other avenues. Because I feel like if you don't have the game stuff, taken care of first, the other stuff is pointless. I mean, you could have the best services in the world, but without the games to back it up, I think people are going to get cold on that pretty quick, and I think that's kind of what Microsoft is facing right now. Not saying that they're doing bad or the Game Pass is doing bad. Obviously, 18 million people have tried it at some point, so I think that that's pretty good. But maybe it could be more if they were actually putting great games into it from themselves, you know what I mean? And maybe they will in a few years' time. We'll have to wait and see how that works out. So hopefully that does kind of change things, and that does make things a little bit more relevant for them. But it is very interesting to see how this works. I'm very interested to see how you guys are doing and what you guys think about this, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. So let me know. I will link this stuff in the description. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.